What's going on, guys? Pixel Dan here. So today I attended the Hasbro event and I took some footage while I was there, but I wanted to shoot this video to put with the footage to kind of talk about some of the things that were on display. So let's talk about Star Wars. The big thing, of course, with Star Wars Black Series for 2017 is that they're going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, of A New Hope, of the Star Wars action figures, period. And what they're doing, you guys have probably already seen because press pictures have hit online, is they're basically re-releasing most of the Star Wars Black Series figures that we already have that are from that original Kenner 12 back. So those first 12 figures, any of them that were already in the Black Series line, they're getting reissued but on vintage style card backs. Now, there were a few figures that did not get released yet from that original 12, so those are our new reveals that kind of completes that original 12 back. So the new figures that we saw revealed today was the Jawa, who looks very cool, and by the way, has a fully sculpted robe, no cloth used on there, which I think is awesome. I'm really happy about that. He looks fantastic. So the Jawa's finally coming. The Death Squad Commander is on the way. He will have a removable helmet. So that's going to kind of complete the final 12 there, those original 12 figures. In addition to that, we are also getting a large, what they're calling the Legacy Pack, the 40th Anniversary Legacy Pack. And this set will come with Darth Vader, and the Darth Vader in this pack will be carded on that vintage style blister card, but also in there will be kind of a new version of the early bird kit, which is going to come with a big display base. And it's going to have a new base that's got pegs for all 12 of the figures so that you'll be able to stand and display your 12 Black Series figures loose on this display. That kind of mimics the way the old early bird set looked in the original line. It's actually a pretty neat looking display. So the rest of the figures that are getting released are Chewbacca, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, the Stormtrooper, stuff like R2-D2 and Stormtrooper. That's really awesome to see re-released because they got kind of hard to find and got expensive. Obi-Wan Kenobi is in there. C-3PO, and this is awesome because he's getting released at regular retail now. So the C-3PO, the original trilogy version, was a Walgreens exclusive, so now he's getting re-released on this original trilogy style card back, so that's pretty cool. And the Leia, even though she's basically a reissue, she does have a brand new face sculpt. They actually listened to feedback from fans. They know that fans weren't really happy with the way that she initially looked, so they completely redid the face from scratch. It's a brand new head sculpt on the same Leia body. So while a lot of the figures in this line do appear to just be reissues on new card backs, there are some new things in there as well and some incentives to pick these up. But they're also really great if you didn't have these already, or if you're missing any of them like R2 or the Stormtrooper, or if you just really like that vintage style card back design. So that's pretty much what we have to look forward to, it looks like, for 2017 as far as Star Wars Black Series goes. They are, of course, also doing the Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot version at Star Wars Celebration, who's also going to come on the vintage style packaging, but it's like a holofoil package, so it's a little metallic. They didn't have on display, but they announced that R5-D4 was coming. They also told us that Luke Skywalker, based on his Episode 7 The Force Awakens appearance, will also be on the way at some point, so that's pretty cool. They had no pictures or anything of him, but he is coming at some point. They also had some of the other figures on display that we already knew about, some of the stuff we saw back at San Diego Comic-Con, but they did look great. Stuff like Qui-Gon Jinn is actually looking really great. The Emperor's Royal Guard looks awesome, so some pretty cool stuff on display there. And then there's the Centerpiece collection. I want to talk about that a little bit. This is basically their new version of the Star Wars Unleashed line. If you remember Unleashed, they were just basically dynamic, almost like statues. They were plastic, but they were statues. They didn't articulate. They were just in these dynamic poses. So they're kind of bringing that back in a sense. But what's kind of neat about these, so they got two different ones. They got a Darth Vader that is, you know, basically breaking onto the Tantive 4 to try to get the Death Star plans back from the Rebels. So it's got like a doorway that's been slashed open by his lightsaber. There's some blasts from the Rebel troopers firing at him. And then the other one is a Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing pilot uniform holding onto his lightsaber. So these are really neat looking. The sculpts are great. They're good size. They actually feature lights on them, so there's parts on there that will light up, like the blast effects. But what I thought was kind of neat is that these are scaled to the Star Wars Black Series figures. So these are not articulated, but they showed how you can pose them with like your 6-inch Black Series Stormtroopers, like with the Vader, and kind of make the scene even more dynamic. Or in Luke's case, they put like snowtroopers up against him. And I thought that was kind of cool. It definitely makes for a neat display. So I don't know for sure if that's something I'm going to be picking up, but I'm interested in them. I thought it was kind of cool. Seeing them in person really made them stand out a lot more than I initially had thought they would. So pretty cool stuff. So there you go, guys. That is what Hasbro had on display here at the 2017 New York Toy Fair for Star Wars Black Series. Be sure to stay tuned because more coverage from the event is on the way right here on the Pixel Dan channel.
Stay up to date with Pixel Dan at Toy Fair. Follow at Pixel Dan on Twitter or /Pixel Dan on YouTube.com. Thanks for tuning in to your premier source for all things toys, Pixel Dan. See you again.